What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This week we're back on the Chevelle. In the last episode, you guys saw David and Andrew and I kind of go over the whole engine compartment, make a couple little modifications, finalize some of the mounting of our turbo system. While doing so, we may have shifted some things around. So I was kind of laying in bed last night and I said, you know what, let's final fit all of our closeout panels, all of our beauty panels that have all been clecoed in. Probably be our best bet to go ahead and use the correct hardware, put some rib nuts into our locations. You know, like back here on this cowl cover, we have just a million holes in here. So before we send this car out for paint, we want to go ahead and land our rib nuts, make sure everything is fitting correctly, and then possibly weld up some of the extra holes that we don't need. We're gonna get on that today. Hopefully by the end of the day, we're gonna start tearing this car apart and sending it over for paint. So we're gonna start back here at the cowl and work our way forward. We had left all these mesh pieces out separately. For this piece back here, we're gonna go ahead and tack it in place from the underside. So this will all be one piece, like so. And then he's gonna start kind of going through this, putting our rib nuts in, and getting this thing bolted, marking the holes we're not going to use so we could weld up the holes on the trim piece as well as on the body of the car.
So we got all of our miscellaneous holes filled in. We got our grate tacked on here. And so the next step is that we're going to start using the holes that we're going to keep, put nut certs on the bottom side, make sure that we have enough fasteners that it holds nice and flush to the cowl. So we got our panel in, sitting nice and flush on top of the cowl, and we could start moving on to our front end closeout panels. We've made all the attachments here. There's 3 attachment points for the main piece, 2 that bring it down to the grill. Then there were a bunch of bolts attaching this piece to this piece, and that seemed like a lot of hardware. Made it too busy. So all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are actually eliminated now. You can kind of see the back heat marks. I've welded these 2 pieces together. The whole assembly can be put on and off without having to have it separately bolted. So all these pieces of hardware are gonna go away, and then that just leaves our side pieces here. So right now I have them bolted down on either end, and originally those were the only bolts for them, but that seems kind of floppy. So what we're gonna do, we're a tab here, we're gonna weld a tab coming this way and break it so it matches this angle, and then it will sandwich right there, and we'll drill a bolt that could catch this, and then this piece is actually underneath.
Now that our closeout panels are all finalized, we've decided to kind of change our plan on the hood mesh pieces. So originally we were going to have this stuff sitting on top like this, and then making a trim just like we're doing on our beauty panel over there on our closeout panels. But because of all this detail in here and all this radius work, the trim got a little complicated. And since this is the hood and it's not like the main focus piece on the engine compartment, we're going to eliminate the trim. So what we decided to do is basically go on the inside and weld it to the hood structure, to this lip. So we'll do a bunch of tacks around it, clean it up, and call it a day. So before I go ahead and weld that stuff in, I'm going to be painting the inside of this hood. Once we get these things welded on, this will never really see paint. So it'll at least keep this stuff from ever rusting out and put a coat of paint in it. These larger panels were kind of giving me an issue. I was unable to get them to sit flush like these did because they were just simply hitting the radius part of this flange before they're able to get up higher. So I'm gonna take these over to the bandsaw. I'm gonna cut some of the meat off them and try it again.
Whoa, what are you doing?
I'm getting ready to talk about this week's sponsor, Manscaped. This week's episode is sponsored by Manscaped and their revolutionary beard styling kit. It doesn't matter if you already have a killer beard or you're just starting out on your facial hair journey, the Manscaped Beard Hedger Pro Kit has everything you'll need to take care of what's growing on your face. Their Beard Edger Trimmer has over 20 easy to select settings suitable for whatever stage of growth your whiskers are in. And with all the length selection in just one attachment, there's no more digging through that drawer full of guards to find out you've lost the size you need. Manscaped didn't stop at just the cutting though. This kit also includes a dermatologist tested beard oil, as well as a beard shampoo and conditioner to keep your skin and that scruff smelling fresh and looking healthy. Combine all that with their beard comb, a brush, and some scissors, and you'll have everything you need to maintain your mane all in this kit. I've been using Manscaped products for a while, and this kit is a great way to get the best of everything they have for your beard. Right now, Manscaped's giving 20% off plus free shipping to all of our viewers. So go over to manscaped.com, use the code S2S20, join myself and the other 8 million men worldwide already using Manscaped. Now I'm gonna get back to work on the Chevelle, right after I edge up my beard. So as I was walking around the car, just kind of making a list, I was actually looking at the exhaust where our tips were gonna come out. I realized that our bottom rear valance was not on. So this is a piece that goes below the bumper. Mind you, a while back we Frenched our bumpers and brought them in, kind of matched the body line a little bit better. We brought them in probably a 1/4 inch on both sides. So when I mounted up my valance, I realized that it is now sticking out past the bumper. So we're gonna have to take 1/2 inch out of this puppy now. So now I just got one tack here in the middle. I'm gonna take this back over to the fab table. I'm gonna cut the overlap seam here and go ahead and butt weld these little puppies together and call it a day.
Disassembly is going pretty smooth here. Took the steering column out, took the dash out, took the seats, took the seat mounts out, took the center console out, and took the HVAC unit out as well. We got to move on to the back here, and we got to pull this bumper off. This lock mechanism will come out as well. After that, we're gonna pretty much have a shell. All right, so we just removed all the brake lines, off of the frame. The rear end is pulled out. All of our other rear suspension parts and front suspension parts, we're gonna start to sort, store, and clean up to get ready for paint.
All right, we got our chassis prepped and ready to go. We're gonna start mixing up our epoxy primer. This is DTM, which means direct to metal. We're gonna hit this with a nice even coat, top and bottom. Let it dry for like 10 minutes, and then we're gonna give it a nice light coat. And then we'll be ready to get to that next step, which is our hot rod black satin top coat. All right, our chassis came out real nice. I'm happy with it. I'm gonna let this dry. We're gonna stick this thing in the clean room and wait for the rest of the parts to get painted and get it assembled. All right, it's time to say goodbye to the Chevelle body for a little bit. We got a bunch of goodies loaded inside, and we are off to the paint shop. Luckily, the paint shop is right next door, so we don't have to put it on a trailer. We got it on a little cart, so let's get it over there and get to work. We're over here at Florida Auto Collision. They got all of our parts laid out on the floor. We got all new badges for the car. We got new side view mirrors, new tail light lenses are here. So I got all this over here. Super excited they're gonna get started on our body work. Not a whole lot of body work to get done, but nonetheless, there is some. All right, got a nice thorough coat of our epoxy primer on there. Look at that, I didn't even see that before. All the little parts, man, some of this stuff's really hard to get in all those little crevices without having a lot of runs. But I think I managed, I only saw one run on our lower control arm, right here. Because I was trying to get inside of here. And you know, I got a little too much spray on the outside, so I got one little baby run right there. But other than that, everything came out super nice. So go ahead and clean my gun out, let this set for about 30 more minutes, and we should be good to go. All right, guys, finally got the Chevelle off the paint and body. We also got everything painted and coated, the chassis, all the suspension parts, the rear end, the transmission, the block, everything set up here in the clean room, and we're just about to start reassembling this thing. We're gonna be putting all the brake lines back on, run the complete fuel system, getting all the work that we can to the chassis done before we go ahead and set the body back on this thing. That's gonna be next week, so make sure you guys are tuned in. Also, if you guys have any guesses on what color we're painting the Chevelle, we wanna know what y'all think, so leave it in the comment section below. Maybe we're gonna give a prize out to the winner, we'll see. But you're gonna have to tune in, so make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're commenting, make sure you're liking our videos. We appreciate you guys, we'll see you on the next one, peace.